So as per yesterday deployment, we upgraded. Okay, so we have done multiple times upgrade, and we have seen how to do an upgrade and downgrade as well. And we have seen how to do a scale in and scale out. Okay, so today let us see some strategies what a deployment can use. Strategies in the sense, let's say for example, when you are upgrading, okay, what is happening in the background? Have we seen it? So let us try to see it and let us understand the scenario first with the default strategy, and then we will see other options what we have in applying the strategy. Okay, I will take the same example what we have done yesterday, same deployment.yaml file example. I will use the least image version, and then I will do the upgrades multiple times. Okay, it's up to me whether I can do my upgrade using a kubectl edit command, or I can apply the YAML file, or I can use from the CLI itself, kubectl set image, that particular option. So I have multiple options to do it. As per the best practices, the thing what you can do is nothing but you have to write a YAML file and apply it. What are the changes you want, like a patch or something, or else you can do something like a CLI option, kubectl set image, because you are not trying to recreate something, right? You are just applying something. Okay, so the best practice is to use kubectl set command in the examination, or when you're doing in the production as well. Okay, so let us try to look at that particular deployment YAML file once again. If I have that, okay, deployment, not this. Okay, let me take that example once again. So you can see this deployment diagram. Yesterday we have discussed, right? So I don't want to repeat this once again. Okay, so this is what we are trying to create right now. So my deployment, let's say basic example. Okay, so let me take this. So as I did yesterday, I'll just remove these two options. Okay, I don't want this to be applied. Okay, so this is fine for me. So kubectl create -f sample nginx.yaml. Okay, this got created. So kubectl get all -o void. So what it displays what are the objects we are trying to create. What are the objects we want to see? We will give all. Okay, you can see these containers are under creation process. So if you see at this particular output, all the containers are getting created at a time. Okay, there is no delay. It's not like it is not creating one by one in series order. When you're trying to use a deployment, and if you say how many replicas you want, those many replicas will get created at a time. Okay, that is the first thing which you have to remember always. Okay, it's not series order, it's at a time, parallel. Okay, there is no delay. You can see 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Okay, there might be some milliseconds difference, but it is like negligible, right? So all the pods got created at a time. That's the intention which we want to understand. I think it should get created, yeah. So successfully it got created, and I can access my applications using the pod IP address. Okay, this is what we have done yesterday. We created. Then after we upgraded, right? So we have used some set command, and then we have upgraded our like our application. Okay. So how we have upgraded it? So we have taken a simple example like set command, and then we have upgraded it. Simple. This command, if you execute this, it is trying to modify. Okay, it is trying to update. Simple. kubectl set image deployment. This is my deployment name, and this is my container in that deployment, and for that container this is the image which I want to upgrade. So here I just want to use 19.0. Okay, record in the sense whatever the command you have executed, that will get stored in the history. Okay, what are the command you executed? So just I'm trying to apply this. Okay, So record is deprecated, you can see here, and will be removed in the further versions. According to the new version of 1.22, they are going to deprecate this particular hyphen hyphen record option. Okay, just look at this. That's okay. But how will you see your history? First of all, let us see what it is trying to do. You can see here. Can someone tell me what it is trying to do in the background? If you look at this particular output, it is having few seconds delay. Okay, you can see I already have three pods which are running, and the new pod is getting created. What is the strategy it is trying to apply? See, now I upgraded my image, which means that I have modified my image saying that now my pod should be running with 1.19.0. Earlier they are running with 1.14.2, which I am trying to upgrade it to 1.19.0. So what it is trying to do in the sense, it will first pick one of the pod. Okay, it will try to create a new pod with the new changes. Once this pod was successfully created, the old pod will get deleted. So it will apply one by one. One by one in the sense, actually we can apply in bunch. Okay, bunch in the sense, let's say you have totally three pods. You said like 50%. So 50% in the sense almost two pods actually. One and a half, actually one and a half in the sense maybe one pod it will try to pick. Okay, 50% in the sense. Okay, if you say 75%, out of the three pods, two pods will be picked for upgrading. Okay, at a time. Okay, it will upgrade two pods at a time. One pod will be available in the older version until this particular upgrade is successful. Okay, so these two pods, if you said like I'm saying, okay, if you are applying your upgrade, okay, saying like 75%, which means that parallelly these two pods will be picked, or any one of two pods will be picked out of three, and it will upgrade first that particular pods with the new version. Once they are upgraded, which means that old pods will be there, in with them only the new pods will get created first. Once those pods are created successfully, then only the old pods will get deleted. Okay, so that is a strategy which it is trying to apply. So this particular strategy is called as rolling update. So this particular strategy is called as rolling update. Okay, how I can see that I have not mentioned anything in the YAML file? Okay, you can see that I have not specified anything in the YAML file. Then how will you come to know that which we have used? Okay, these two options are removed. So what is the default strategy that it will pick when I don't specify anything related to strategy? The default strategy is nothing but rolling update. Okay, how I can see that? Let's see. Now you can see all the pods, I guess they are upgraded. You can see almost 3 minutes. This is 2 minutes and 2 minutes. Okay, almost they are upgraded with the latest version. How you can see that? Take this IP, run the curl command -i and give the pod IP. I've seen that this particular cluster is having some delay in responding actually. So that's the reason I don't want to waste time. You can see here it is responded with the Nginx version called 1.19.0. Okay, so which means that whatever I have expected, that was running as per my requirement. Okay, I told my pods to be upgraded with the 1.19.0 version. It was done successfully. So how it was applied to your pods, whenever I do some changes, it will apply a strategy called rolling update. So rolling update in the sense, based on the percentage what you have told, it will pick those many pods at a time. Okay, which means that those many number of pods will be created at a time with the new changes. Once those new changes has been done successfully, the old pods will get deleted. Those many numbers, how many they have created, those many old pods will get deleted. After that, if any pods are left, those another pod will created, and then the old pod will get deleted. So this is called as rolling update. Okay, so rolling update. So how I can see that my rolling update was enabled for this particular deployment by default? So you can see that kubectl uh, describe describe deployment. Okay, and then let's say it is nginx -deployment. Okay, I gave this particular describe. Okay, so here you can see the strategy what we are using right now. The strategy type is rolling update. This is our strategy. Okay, the percent you can see the replicas right now it is desired, updated, total, available, unavailable, nothing. So all the pods are up and all the pods are working as per our expectation. So now this particular deployment is revision 2. Why? Because as we discussed yesterday, kubectl rollout history, okay, deploy slash nginx hyphen deployment. If you execute this command, you will see how many times you have upgraded, how many times you have modified your deployment. Okay, whether it is upgrade or downgrade, how many times you have done, rollout or rollback, how many times you have done, everything can be seen in this particular command. Okay, kubectl rollout history deployment slash deployment name. Okay, as we discussed yesterday. So coming to the same point here, your current deployment is which version, you will come to know in the annotation. Annotations are something like labels. It is something like labels, but not only adding a metadata, but also the code means like your functionality will try to use this particular metadata to do some particular actions. It's not like labels. Labels are also like metadata information which you add, but it is for only for filtering or for simplifying our job. Okay, well, we are fetching some data, but whereas annotations, these are also metadata, but not only metadata, it does some functionality changes. Okay, if you did some functionality changes and all, those changes can be seen in the annotations. Okay, it is more than metadata. Okay, so we will come across so many places about annotations in the ingress or in other cases also. We will come in Helm charts. We will come to know this particular annotations more in depth. Okay, so right now this is our annotation. So when you executed this command, right, when I upgraded using kubectl set image, this particular command I executed, right, you are able to see in the history. So when I executed the history command, I was able to see that. Okay, in the deployment also, in this particular revision, it will store your annotation, will store this revision number as well as this command what you executed. You can see here. Okay, so both the informations are stored here. Why it is stored here? When you execute this kind of commands and all, these commands will try to fetch the data from this annotation section. Okay, so that is the intention actually. Okay, that is one thing you have to remember. Next, okay, next is nothing but rolling update strategy. So strategy is nothing but 25% max unavailable, 25% max search. 25% max unavailable in the sense how many pods should be unavailable at a time when there is an upgrade going on. Let's say you have totally 10 pods. Out of 10 pods, maximum at a time you can take 25% of the pods in 100%. 100% in the sense 10 pods. 25% in the sense what? 2.5 actually. 2.5 pods. It will take only 2. Or let's say 3. It will pick only 3 pods at a time to upgrade. 25%. Again, once that particular 25% is done, again it will pick another 25%. So maximum only 25% pods should be unavailable. Okay, so that is the intention. Okay, 25% that is a 25% max unavailable. So 25% max unavailable in the sense what, as we discussed again, so max available in the sense your pod, the pods which are not available, it will not serve the data. Okay, so because of it's not serving the data, which means that your traffic will be diverted only to the pods which are up and running, which means that let's say out of my 10 pods, 25 pods are not available. Okay, so 25% 25 pods are not available, and other 75% pods will be available so that I can serve the data with my old data. I can serve my pods with the old data. So other pods are getting upgraded with the new changes. Okay, once those task is done, now the deployment will send a traffic to that particular pods as well. Okay, if you are using any load balancer in front, it will send a traffic to that particular pods as well. So that is the intention of using a rolling update. Rolling update in the sense instead of upgrading all the pods at a time. If you upgrade all the pods at a time, what will happen? all the pods, at least there will be some downtime, right? If your client is trying to send a request, if all the pods are getting upgraded at a time, you may not get a response. Okay, traffic will not reach to the pod. Why? Because it is under upgrading process. Okay, so that's the reason the pod is getting created, right? It will delete, it will create, and the old pods will get deleted. So at that point of time, if all the pods are upgraded, there will be some downtime. So if you don't want a downtime, it should be done in bunches, like one by one, with some particular percentage and all. Then you have to go for rolling update. That is a default strategy which will be applied. No need to worry. Okay. So in this, again, there is one more option called max surge. So max surge in the sense, how many pods should be created over the desired number of pods, which means that, let's say, uh, let's say 25% pods will not be available. Okay, which means that in that 25% of the pods will be created, new pods will be created at a time. Okay, so max unavailable is 25%, which means that out of 10 pods, 3 pods will not be available to serve the data, which means that your 25% max surge, in the sense, whenever there is a new pod getting created, how many pods should be created at a time. So almost this value should be equal, okay, to match the condition, which means that 25% of the pods will be picked in order to create a new one. Okay, so this 25% pods will be picked in order to create at a time. Okay, so once those are created, this pods, 25% of the pods will get deleted. Okay, so you can give here 50%. 50% in the sense, let's say, out of 10 pods, okay, 5 pods will get created, new pods will get created. Okay, but when coming to the deletion, in the deletion it will happen only 25%. Means first it will delete 3 pods, then 2 pods. Okay, so that is the different values which you have. I do, or I suggest to keep these two values in the same percentage, okay, to match the condition. Like, if how many pods are getting created, new pods are getting created, those many pods only should get deleted. Okay, old pods should get deleted. If so, I prefer this particular options, actually same equal percentage for search and for unavailable. Surge in the sense, how many pods should get created at a time, new pods for the new changes. Okay, and that should be equal to your max unavailable. Okay, how many pods should be unavailable when the pods are getting deleted, means how many pods should get deleted when there is an upgrade going on. Okay, so that is the intention of using this rolling update. So now whatever you are doing, it's a rolling update by default. Okay, so now let's say if I want to upgrade it, let's say for example, again, if I want to upgrade it once again, I need to give something like, let's say, latest, or let's say 1.19.1. Okay, now if I apply this, you can see here, uh, yeah, other new pod is getting created. One pod, 25% in the sense, out of 3, only one pod actually. So one pod is getting created first. After that, one pod will get deleted. Again, it will pick another pod. Again, it will delete the old pod. Again, it will pick new pod. Again, it will delete the old one. So 3 times it will apply. Means 3 times it will do this particular changes. Okay. So this is how the upgrade strategy will work. Okay. So let's try to change the strategy. Okay, I will downgrade it, or let's say I will upgrade once again. While upgrading now, I will modify the strategy. Okay, for this particular deployment. So what is the another strategy which we have for a deployment? Okay, so you can go to the official documentation. So let me show that. Okay, in the official documentation, this will show you the strategies how many we have. So always my suggestion is, whenever you're working on deployment, okay, look at the strategies. Okay, so strategies, we have two types. One is recreate strategy and one is rolling update strategy. Here only we have this, for rolling update only we have this max unavailable and max search. Okay, so as we discussed, max unavailable in the sense, how many maximum pods should be unavailable when there is an upgrade process going on during the upgrade process. Okay, max surge in the sense, how many maximum number of pods can be created, new pods can be created for the new changes. Okay, that is called as max search. Okay, So this is how it is. For recreate strategy, it doesn't have anything like this, max and available, max like this. Why? I will tell you. What is this recreate strategy? What it does exactly, let us try to understand. So before that, where you need to modify. Okay, how I need to modify that? That is the first question, right? So let us see how we can modify this. So in order to modify, there are different ways. Either you can edit. Okay, that is what I am trying to do right now. Okay, edit in the sense, kubectl. Okay, edit deployment. What is your deployment? Aim nginx hyphen deployment. You can give shortcut name as deploy as well here. Okay, here. Okay. Now it is open. Where is your strategy? You can see here. Rolling update, max search, max available, and type. Okay. I will remove this section, and here the type is recreate. Recreate. Okay. Save and come out. Only few options are allowed to get modified using edit. Okay, not all the options you can modify. No, straight away the answer is no. You cannot modify each and every parameter in the edit option. You can modify only few parameters which are allowed. Best example is this particular strategy. Okay, I have modified my strategy. It was applied to my deployment. So will it get affected immediately? Any guess? Now I modified my deployment strategy from rolling update to recreate. So will that go and apply it or not?
You need to apply it.
Yeah, so
I think
whenever
it's
there is
applied
a,
automatically.
yeah, so the changes are saved in the metadata, means the etcd has saved this deployment information. Okay, but it will not get applied. This will be applied only when you do an upgrade or only when you do a downgrade. Okay, means only when you upgrade your application like rollout, or you do a rollback. Only when you do this kind of task, then only this particular strategy will get applied. Okay, so now, okay, so if you want the proof, let me show you this. So let us try to see it. kubectl get, or let's say describe. Okay, now you can see the strategy is recreate. Okay, so this is what in the event logs you can see whenever you are applying some particular upgrade and all, you can see in the event logs. Okay, scale up, scale down, everything will be shown here. Other things also will be shown in this particular events. Okay, now let's try to see that. So what I want to do, I want to set the image to the latest. Okay, then record, it's up to you, but I will give it. Okay, you can see now in the recreate strategy, can you see in the pods output, pod section, what is happening?
It's terminating all.
Yes, so at a time. So it will delete all the pods first. Not even it is creating new pods first and then deleting. First it will delete all the existing pods, whatever you have, how many pods you have, those all pods will get deleted based on identifying through label. Okay, pod select, like your deployment selector, based on the selector selection parameters what you have written, those pods will be identified and it will get deleted at a time, and then the new pods will get created. Let us wait and see. You can see the new pods got created. Okay, so this is how it applies. So recreate strategy in the sense all the pods will get deleted when you upgrade or downgrade what are the strategy you apply. So this will get deleted. Okay, all the pods will get deleted first and then it will create a new pods. You can see the difference here, right? 30 second, 30 second. This is once maybe some milliseconds difference or something. That's the reason it came up with 31 seconds. Okay, that's it. So this is called as recreate strategy. Okay, there could be some cases, right? I don't want to do in bunch. Can someone tell me when I need to use recreate strategy and when I need to go for uh, rolling update strategy? Okay, they have given this option. Now you need to give a justification to your client. He will ask you, okay, why you are going for this? Why not with recreate strategy? Based on your understanding, what could be the reason and where we have to use rolling update and where we have to use recreate strategy? Any guess?
Rolling update.
Based on
Rolling
downtime.
update is when You cannot afford to have downtime.
Rolling update. Okay. Yeah, that point is noted. Yeah. Next, anything else?
Actually, it will depend on the application. If our application is stateless, then we can use rolling update. But if we are using a stateful application and we
Then I have
cannot
a stateful
manage
object, right?
it,
Then I can, if that is the case, that application is that particular if condition, then I can directly install my application through stateful set object, right? No need to come to the deployment.
yeah, and we cannot manage two different version in the application at the same time, then we can use recreate.
Yes, we can, right? See, every pod is individual. Every pod is running its own namespace. We
But
don't care, right? Whether
for
it is running
example,
with the
we are
same
using
version.
database.
Okay.
We are if we are using database behind that, and the same connection will goes to the same database, then if we are using two different application, then recreate strategy will be helpful.
Okay.
uh,
Simple
that's
here.
why.
Okay, Prajesh, you are trying to communicate to the database. Okay. You are using certain application, you have written some particular code. Okay, that code will try to communicate to the database. Now due to some bugs from your clients, you got some particular bug saying that this is not working, this module has some particular vulnerabilities and all. You are trying to modify the code and you have used the latest version of module and you upgraded your code. Even though you upgraded your code, let's say old code is also running, you are trying to write a new code in a new lab. Okay, you applied in a new lab, that is also trying to communicate to the database. Request is a request. It doesn't know whether it is this version or that version, your front end application. Your database will never know it, right? See, am I making any sense? So that's the reason I'm not saying that it is correct. Okay, just I'm saying that this also could be a scenario, right? Okay, what about rolling update? He told that, yeah, we don't want any downtime. Asif has told that we don't want any downtime. So that's the reason we go for a rolling update strategy. Then when we come across recreate strategy, what could be the situations then?
You have a defined deployment window where you
Yes,
can
that's
down
fine.
all the
Okay, why can't I
applications.
do, see, rolling update, whenever if they do some particular upgrades, they do in the change window. Okay, we definitely do, we have to do in the change window. Why? Because if something goes wrong, we will have some buffer time to fix it before it is going live again, right? So that's the reason, even though if this strategy, whatever the strategy you apply, you have to do in the change window as per the best practices. Okay, that point is fine, but it is common for all the strategies. But anything making difference for you to use recreate strategy? Okay, let me tell you. For example, if your node is having the maximum number of 110 pods that should be launched on a node. Okay, if you see kubectl describe node, let's say control plane or compute plane node. So compute plane node, right? Compute plane one, sorry. Now if you look at this, here as per this particular default apply, like default what do you say, parameters we have followed, maximum of 110 pods. Let's say unfortunately all the compute nodes are having this, let's say near to this particular 110 pods, maybe 90 or 95. Okay, now you want to upgrade your cluster, means there are certain applications which you need to upgrade, not all the applications. Let's say there is a new release in the sense you will upgrade all the applications almost. Okay, now when you want to apply for all the applications, remember you have only 95 pods which are already created, you have only space left for 15 pods. Let's say there are so many applications which should be upgraded using upgrade strategy. What is upgrade strategy? It has to create new pods, then only it can delete the old pods. Once that successfully it has created the new pods. So 95 pods, imagine, do you have any space to create a new pods? You can create only maximum of 15 pods. Okay, you cannot go beyond that. Let's say out of this you are upgrading only few applications. Those applications are having maximum of 50 pods, which should be upgraded at a time. Means rolling update strategy. So first it has to create 50 pods, then it has to delete the 50 pods later. So if I want to apply that, do I have any space left on that particular node to launch the pod? No. In those cases, if you are running beyond the limits of the pod, then there is no other choice for you. You have to take a downtime and you have to apply a strategy called recreate. What is recreate? It doesn't create a new pods. It will delete the existing pods with the older version, and when it is creating new pods, it will take the new changes. Okay, so you are not running out of space with this number of pods. Okay, in those situations you have to go for recreate strategy. Okay, am I making sense? Like, is that clear or not?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Okay, so in those situations we have to go for recreate strategy. Maximum what I've seen is like in most of the cases we go for rolling update. In few cases, okay, in few cases if you are running out of limits and all, you know that, right? You will keep on monitor, you will come to know, developers will come to know how many pods are suggested, or how many pods the applications they are running on that particular node, they will come to know it. Okay, we'll have a report and we'll have daily monitoring and all, right? Based on that we can change the deployment strategy at any point of time. It's not that, see, today you are using rolling update strategy. Okay, you are running out of limit, let's say near to 100. Okay, do I need to redeploy the deployment? No, right? You can just modify your strategy and you can apply it, and again you can go back to your strategy after the like the changes are done. Okay, so this is what it is. So you can change at any point of time the strategies, and you can apply that particular strategy, and once it is done you can override the strategy again back to the older one. Okay, so this can be done at any point of time. So that's the reason I've shown you how to use this edit option to modify your strategy. Instead of doing like this, we can also do some like patching. Okay, we can see later that, but patching is something like you will modify only certain parameter on a on that particular deployment. Okay, instead of using edit, right? Edit you cannot do in the CI/CD operations, right? When you are automating this particular process, you cannot use this particular edit option. That is not possible. So in those cases, you have to use this patch. Okay, set image, something like that. Okay, most of the cases you use declarative, sorry, imperative, not a declarative in automation. Okay, so those things. So this is all about your deployment strategies. Okay, so you understood everything, right? So now let me see the rollout history. So rollout history, now you have these many revisions, 1 2 3 4, totally 4 revisions I have. In the first revision I know that I have used an image called 1.14.1. After that I upgraded, then the second revision was created and it was having 1.19.0 image, and the third revision I upgraded. Third revision is having 1.19.1, and fourth revision is having the latest image. Okay, now if I want to go back one step backward, then I need to use kubectl rollout. Yesterday we have jumped to the specific revision, right? Now if you want to go one step backward, means you want to roll back to one step backward version revision, then we need to use rollout undo. Okay, deploy slash nginx hyphen deployment, enter, that's it. So it will roll back only one step backward. You can see now rollout history, you can see 1 2 3 4, 1 2 4 5. Third one is removed from the history. Why? Because third and fifth is same, so fifth will be available, means the latest revision will be available. Old revision is also same, actually 3 and 5 are equal, so the old one will get deleted, okay, from the history. So now if you look at your deployment details, you can see now it will be rolled back to your 1.19.1. okay, this particular replica set revision. Okay, if you want more information, then obviously you can give a describe of your deployment. Obviously you can see in the annotations. We went to revision 5, this is the revision 5, and this is what it has. Okay, that's how it is. So in this way we can jump one step backward Means like rollback can be done one step backward, or we can jump to a specific revision, whichever we want. Okay, so this is the maximum things that you can do in the deployment. Okay, nothing else. Even though if you read the documentation, it will talk more of a description, like in detailed point to point information of it. Whatever has spoke here about each and every point, it is written in the documentation. Okay, recreate deployment, what is that, how it is applied, rolling update, what is this maximum available, and max search. Okay, this is how it is. Okay, so this is all about your deployment. This is one of the workload. Okay, apart from pods, replica set and replication controller, now we are trying to install your applications through deployment. Through deployment, what is advantage do you get? Apart from replicas, we can also upgrade our application at any point of time. That is a benefit we get when you install your application through deployment object. Okay, so this is the complete documentation. You have to read this documentation. Why? Because in the examination also you will be going through this particular documentation. If you need any help, this is the sample one, you can use it. Okay, so now there is one more parameter which I added in the documentation, which is called as rollout history limit. Can someone tell me now what is this rollout history? What is this parameter does?
Limit means maximum we can go up to 5.
Yes, so not maximum up to, which means that when you execute rollout history command, right? Okay, so the number of revisions that will be shown in this particular history is nothing but maximum is only 5. Okay, history limit is maximum only 5, not more than that. Okay, so that's how it is. So you cannot go beyond that. Strategy, if you want to modify, if you don't want to use a default strategy called rolling update and you want to use recreate, then you have to specify. In the first creation itself, you don't want to use rolling update, you want to use a different strategy, then you have to specify this. If you don't specify this, by default your deployment will pick rolling update strategy. Okay, so these are the 2 points which we have to remember. Whichever you want, you can just apply. So with the same one, I have given different examples. You can just use it. I used 2 containers. One container will write the data to the logs index.html. One container will serve the data. Okay, so tomorrow what we will see is nothing but, tomorrow we will see some example related to the real-time application. What is that? Let us take Jenkins or MySQL and we will see what will happen and what are the limitations we have when you are using a deployment object in order to install your Jenkins application or MySQL application. What are the points we have to remember, and what are the things we have to follow when you are using a deployment object for your Jenkins and MySQL. That we can see tomorrow. Okay. Okay, so this could be, so with this we have done with the deployment. Maybe tomorrow I'll be talking about this Jenkins and this MySQL deployment, and then we will be talking about, next topic is daemon set. Okay, what is this daemon set? Where we have to use a daemon set, for what kind of applications we have to use a daemon set. Okay, that we can see in the next class. Okay, thank you.